debt. It can feel like a never-ending cycle of past due bills, high interest rates, and even collection calls. You want a way out, but most companies only deal with certain kinds of debt or offer quick fixes and even dangerous solutions that can destroy your credit and put you right back where you started. At Family Credit Management, we do things differently. First, we'll review your credit report to access who and what you owe. Then, we'll create a repayment plan that's in budget, lowers interest, and eliminates fees. We'll give you a roadmap out of debt once and for all by consolidating all your unsecured debt from all your creditors in our debt management program. You pay us once a month, and we work with your creditors to take care of the rest. For over 20 years, we've been helping clients get back on track to financial independence. Now it's your turn. Get your free quote today.
Hey, good evening. My name is Letitia Griffin, and we are back for another episode. So for the next 25 to 30 minutes or so, if you've got any questions about dealing with your finances, about your credit report, about working with your creditors, any types of questions about your debt, finances, budget, feel free to call in and you can chat with me and we can talk about your questions, situations, whatever you need, whatever advice, I'm here to give it. Also, if you do not get the opportunity to call in and maybe you are a little camera shy, you don't want to go on air, you can reach out to a counselor at Family Credit at 800-994-3328 and get the advice that you are seeking. So I want you to use them as a resource, and feel free to go online to the website www.familycredit.org, because remember, a lot of times you don't know where to go for help, and we want to make sure that you have the resources available for you to find the help that you need, especially when it comes to debt and finances. Nowadays, you see so many different things being advertised. So many people are talking about they can help you, and you don't know where to go for help. So that's why we're here. We want to give you the answers that you need to deal with your situation. Been talking to a lot of people lately that are trying to get their credit in order. So we do talk about credit a lot because people need to know more about credit and how to manage credit, because it's the basis of anything that you need. If you are looking for, you want to get a credit card, if you're looking to get a house or a car, you need to start somewhere with building your credit and making sure that your score is up to par and that you qualify, because the last thing you want to do is go in for a loan or a car or try and get a house and get turned down. But it's not even just that. There are other people out there that are looking at your credit, using your credit, looking at what you do. So I want you to be aware of that. So you've got insurance companies that will look at your credit score to determine how much you're going to be paying for car insurance. And you're thinking, really? My car has nothing to do with my credit. You know, how I drive, how does that affect my credit? But insurance companies, they do use credit. They see that if you can't handle your credit responsibly, then you can't really handle the car responsibly, so they're going to charge you a higher rate. Things happen in your life. We know that. So sometimes when things happen with people and your credit, takes a few hits, your score gets lowered. And what happens with the insurance companies? They will jack up your premiums then. So we want to make sure that you're doing what you can, being proactive to keep your score in line. Also, employers look at your credit report. And I have people that say all the time, I didn't even want to apply for a job because I thought my credit was too bad. But that shouldn't stop you, because we want you to take a look at it so that you can get the help you need. Remember, your score and your report are two different things. Your credit report will follow you for years and years and years. So you've got things on your credit report that have probably been there for at least 10 years. And remember, all positive information, those good accounts that you've had for a long time, there's nothing wrong with them, they're going to be reporting forever. But things go bad, that's when your score falls, and now we need to start getting things on track. And bad information is reported on your credit report for 7 to 10 years, depending on what happens. and sometimes even longer. So I had some people that were dealing with trying to fix their credit, and there's something on their credit that was blocking them from getting the financing, from getting homes, from getting everything that they needed. They couldn't do anything, and they didn't know what was going on. So we went over the credit report and found out they had what's called a judgment. Now, a judgment is an account that has not only went bad, it probably went to collections, but it went through the legal court system. And a judgment, that's what it does. Anything that goes through the court system and they find that you owe that debt, the court system will grant the creditor what's called a judgment. And that means before you can do anything else, you need to pay them. So if you're trying to get a car, really can't do it with a judgment, you got to get that judgment taken care of. You want to get a home? Not going to happen. You need to take care of that judgment first. Now, when you take care of judgment, of course, it needs to be updated on your credit report to a zero balance. We want that judgment to be paid off. But guess what? Judgments report on your credit report forever unless you take care of it. And then when you take care of it and you pay it off, it stays on your report for an additional 7 years from the date you paid it. So you do want to take care of it, and you do want to get that shown as a zero balance, because if it's going to be on your report, we might as well have the balance show as zero. If you need some help, there's counselors that are on standby that can help you at Family Credit at 800-994-3328. So they can go over your credit report with you, tell you what those judgments are for, and help you get those resolved. Looks like we've got our first caller to the show. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. I had a question. Do I have to pay off my collection accounts in order to purchase a home?
That's a really good question. Now, you do want to get your collection accounts taken care of, but it does not stop you from getting a home per se. There's a couple of different scenarios, and the best thing you can do is talk to a counselor about the collection accounts that are shown on your credit report. Now, I'm going to give you some tips. If you are looking to purchase a home and you have balances, or your collection balances, they are less than $2,000, you shouldn't have problems like that. Now, the collections may take a hit against your score, and it may have lowered your score. So you want to make sure that you've got enough positive activity to counteract the collection accounts. Also, if you are looking at trying to get a mortgage or an auto loan and you've got those collection accounts, it also depends what type of collections those accounts are. So if you've got a collection account and you are, if you've got a collection account and it's showing up on your credit report and it's for a medical bill, then it doesn't really matter or hurt you as much. If it's for something else, let's say an old phone bill, a utility, something like that, you do want to get that taken care of. And if you can't do it all right away, try setting up payment arrangements. Because guess what? If you got a $100 collection balance reporting on your account and you're sending them $10 a month, next month that balance is going to show $90. The month after that, it's going to show $80. So what you're doing is you're reducing those collection balances anyway. So you want to look at your overall account, your portfolio, see what you've got reporting on your credit report, and then go from there. Also keep in mind, any types of collections that are reporting on your account, you always want to tackle the most recent collections. So if you got something from 5 years ago, doesn't really matter against your score as much. If you got something that just hit last month, that has probably really dropped your score, and you want to take care of that right away. When you're thinking about your credit score and your credit report, remember your credit report stays with you forever, but the score only looks at the last 24 months worth of history. 24 months. So that means anytime you messed up in the past, you can make things better now and work towards making them better for the future as well. So if you've got those collection accounts out there, again, take a look at them, look at the balances, look at how much you need to pay. Also, look at if they're really yours, because a lot of times you may have collections reporting that don't even belong to you. If you've got questions with dealing with collection agencies or trying to get those taken care of, I do recommend you contact a counselor at 800-994-3328 because they can go over everything with you. Now, had a few people that are actually struggling with dealing with collection agencies too, because sometimes collection agencies can call you and they can just be so rude and so disrespectful. Sometimes they will threaten you, and then sometimes you just don't know how to deal with them. But there's help out there, because guess what? You have the power to control how the collection agency treats you. and you have rights as a consumer, so you want to make sure that they respect those rights. First thing I want you to do is, if you are being contacted by a collection agency, you need to find out who they are and what the debt is for, and is it actually your debt. I bring that up because I've had some people that I've worked with that they see the collection accounts showing up on their report, they're getting letters for them, and they have no idea what it's for. So at that point, you want to have that creditor or have that collection agency validate the debt. And what I mean by that is that that collection agency needs to tell you where the account came from, give you the details that you requested about it, where they got it from as well. And you have a right to know all of that information. So if it's not yours, once they give you that information, you find out it's not yours, then they need to remove that information off of your credit report. They need to stop contacting you, and you can do a cease and desist process to get that done too. You can contact a counselor to find out more information about the cease and desist process. Now, if it is your account, you can still do a cease and desist, but it's all in the way that you do it. What I mean by that is, if you have a collection agency that is harassing you and you're not sure how to deal with them, you have the power to tell them to leave you alone. You can set up arrangements with them, and they need to work on your schedule. Like I said, a counselor can walk you through that as well. We'll go over that a little bit into more details with dealing with collections a little bit later on in the show. But right now we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm wondering, does a secured credit card help increase my credit score?
A secured credit card really will help you increase your credit score. If you are looking for a way to improve your credit, secured card may be the way to go, especially if you do not have a lot of debt, or you've got so much negative collection agencies, medical bills, and things that are reported that it really will help your score. So what I want you to do is look for a secured account. And with a secured account, you are saying to the creditor or credit card company that I will give you some money to hold as collateral if you give me a credit card account. So if you got maybe $200, you can open up a secured credit card account and your limit will be $200. At that point, you make your payments on it each and every single month. They say your interest rate, it is a regular account. You can use it and it will help you build your credit. A lot of times the secured accounts, depending on who they are, they might not even report that they're secured on your credit report. You need to do a little research, because there are a lot of different secured accounts, secure cards out there. You want to go with the one that works for you. Great place to start. If you are looking for a secured card, go to your bank or financial institution to see what they offer. Also, you can go online to a website like bankrate.com, where they will list different types of secured accounts, and you can find one that works for you. There are also some other tools out there that may suggest different credit cards or secure cards, but you really do want to be careful. Do your research. Make sure you know how much the fees are on the account, because like I said, it's a real credit card, so if you miss that payment, yes, they will charge you a late fee and you will need to pay it. But the cool thing about a lot of the secured accounts is if you keep it, and let's say you have your secured account for maybe 6 months to a year, you're making payments on it each and every single month, you've got great history on it, and you're not really using the credit limit. So if you got a $200 limit, you know that you need to stay under, stay under $30 to $60 every single month. Don't let your balance go over. Make sure you pay it off, and you're using it wisely each and every single month. A lot of times, the creditor will give you your security back, and then it's not a secured card anymore. How cool is that? So that is a great way for you to look at building or rebuilding your credit. Another thing you may want to look at is if you're going to talk to your bank, see if they have some credit rebuilding products. A lot of banks will offer that too. So some of them will offer a loan, some of them will offer a CD that's secured by money that you give them to. But a lot of times you go in, you give them, let's say, a $500 deposit. They'll hold that as collateral, and you sign paperwork for a regular loan, and you're making your payments each and every single month. At the end of the term, then you get the money. After you make all your payments, everything is great. Then you get that money plus the interest that you made off of it. But the key to that is it's building your credit, and it's being reported to the credit bureaus. So no matter what you do, if you're looking to rebuild your credit, you want to make sure that they do report to the credit bureau. I have a lot of people that miss that step, and sometimes people think, well, maybe if I get a debit card, that'll work, or if I get a bank card, that'll report to my credit. It really doesn't. You want to make sure that when you get a secured card, or when you get a credit card, or a loan, you ask right up front, do you report to the credit bureau? Because you're looking to build up your credit, and you want to make sure you do. So keep that in mind. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi. Yeah, I just received a summons to appear in court for a credit card from years ago. I thought that sometime debts came off of your credit report. Is this not true?
Well, if you received a summons to go to court, I do want to just advise you that you should probably take that seriously. Now, a creditor has so much time before they can really act on a debt, and their time limit is called the statute of limitations. Now, in each state, it's different, but typically here, within 7 years, if no one's collected on a debt, then that creditor is giving up his rights to actually collect on it. Now, keep in mind that the real limit is 14 years here, but a lot of creditors will not do anything after 7 years. So we go by 7 years as the date for the statute of limitations. Now, also, a lot of times creditors will see that they haven't gotten any action on an account. There's a loan that's been sitting there dormant. And so before their statute of limitations runs up, that's when they want to try and move into action. That's when they want to send the accounts out for collections. They want to send it to an attorney as a last attempt to get some money. And a lot of times people get scared when they see a summons, but I do want to advise you that take that seriously. Make sure you go to court. You do want to call them if you can. You can also contact a counselor. They can help you with that. 800-994-3328. They are well versed in handling that situation. And with that, you go to court, or you go to court and you make sure that you're represented. I have had people that have challenged those things in the past. Had some that will call and make arrangements with the creditors on the phone. They are told that they don't need to go to court. And then what happens? The judge grants the judgment at the end because you weren't represented. So even if you do make payment arrangements with them, even if they say that you don't have to worry about going to court, we'll send over the paperwork, we'll take care of it, you still need to show up. Make sure that you're represented, and make sure that you challenge and fight that debt. Especially if you don't remember who it was from or what it was, they still need to provide that information to you. And I have honestly seen in certain cases where the judge is leaning in because they understand your situation. They understand that things happen, and most of all, they understand that a lot of time has lapsed. So if the creditor can't prove that debt, then it's thrown out. So I do want you to pay attention to that. Make sure that you're staying on top of those collections, those collection agencies, any notices that you receive, and check your credit report from time to time to make sure that nothing shows up in your public records section, because if there's something that's going through the court system, it will be reported on your credit report under public records. So you want to make sure there's nothing there for you. Another thing that we've talked about is just how you are able to maintain credit, get credit, use credit responsibly, because that's a huge portion. That's really your score. Your score looks at your payment history. It looks at how you pay your bills. It looks at the type of bill that you have, and it looks at the fact that you're not near your credit limits. And a lot of times we can be seen as desperate when we get close to those limits. But there's some other factors that I do want to point out that right now people are kind of looking at. So we want to make sure that you know that whatever you do, you're being watched by your creditors, you're being watched by the credit card companies, and you know how to take care of yourself and make sure that you're keeping your eyes on your credit. Now, in order to get a loan, depending on what type of loan, you need to have your score as high as possible. Your credit score ranges from the 350 to 850 typically with the FICO model that we're using. Yes, there are other scores out there. There are so many different other scores out there. But typically when you're looking at or thinking about getting credit, most scores are based on the FICO score. So that's a good place to start. Now, if you're looking to try and get a home loan, of course, you can get a home loan with scores as low as 580 typically. If you're looking to purchase an automobile or a car, you need to a solid score, maybe about 600, 620, something like that. So you want to keep that in mind when you're looking to purchase. I've got a lot of people out there that don't even want to try because they feel like their score is horrible. But again, you're only looking at the last 24 months. So if you start right now, 2 months from now, your score is going to be better. And you will see it start to rebound by you making positive steps now and paying attention to what you're doing. Anything that's on your credit report that is not yours or you don't know what it is, you need to dispute it. And I want you to dispute it because I see so many people out there that are paying people to do what's called credit repair, and that does not really help you. And a lot of times, anytime you do a dispute, it needs to be initiated by you because you're the one, it's your report, you know what debts are yours, which ones are not. And a lot of times when you have other people do it for you, they're just going to charge you an arm and a leg, and that's money that you could be paying towards your debt. I've seen so many people that go through it. So I do want you to, if you need help with that, you can contact a counselor. They can help you go over your report and outline an action plan for you. Now remember, notice I didn't say that they were going to do it for you. They're going to help you do it because you need to do it yourself. Anytime you're thinking about disputing an account, what happens is that account is not factored into your score until that dispute is over. And a lot of times people will think that their score is improving if they're using a credit repair place, and it really isn't. And we'll talk about that. We'll finish up with that in a little bit, but right now we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, so my credit score dropped 40 points because of a late payment. How can I get those points back?
Okay. That happens. Life happens. And anytime you have a late payment, your score will be affected. And a lot of times what people don't realize, though, is that a late payment is usually not reported right away. So if you feel like you're going to be late on your payment and you can't make your payment, then you do need to try and see what you can do so that that payment is not late. Now, a creditor will report that you are 1 month past due when you're 2 months past due. So if you reach that 60-day mark of no payment and you're not able to make a payment to your creditor, then yes, it's going to be reported that you're late. And it will drop your score a lot. So the best way for you to counter that, though, is time. That's what's going to heal your score and make things better. Time. Also, anytime you typically get a late fee, a lot of times it will push us over our limit depending on what that balance is. So you want to make sure that if you are late, let's see what you can do to get that payment to the creditor. And sometimes if you have never been late before, you've had the card a while, or even if you just gotten it, but this may be your first time being late, if you make that payment, talk to your creditor. Ask them, can they reverse that fee? And a lot of times they will reverse it. They've got the power to reverse it, even if you've been that late. But you've got to show some good faith. Make a good faith payment, show that you're trying to get things back in order. So that's the way to go. If you've been late on your credit, we know things happen. Contact the creditor, see if there's anything that they can do to help you. Make the payment as soon as you can and work on getting your credit card balances down, your payments down, so that it will improve your score. But the key to improving your score and rebounding it from a late payment is time. So that's really all that you can do. But be proactive. Look at your other accounts too. Make sure that things aren't going to snowball, because a lot of times when one account goes delinquent, not too much longer before the next one does too. Again, you can contact a creditor and find out more information on how to deal with your credit cards, how to deal with your creditors, dealing with medical debt, collection debt. There's so many resources that are out there and available to you for dealing with those types of things, because we need to know how to keep everything together, and we need to actually work more on modifying our behavior so that we can keep things in track and make sure we have a score that will give us those things that we need out of life, because we can't do anything without a score nowadays, right? Everyone's looking at it, so I want to make sure that yours is in order. Now we've got another show next week where we will be back to talk to you some more. We'll touch again on dealing with collection agencies. We'll also touch on trying to make sure that you improve, keep, and maintain positive credit report and credit score. Again, if you've got any other questions, feel free. You can call Family Credit, 800-994-3328. Chat online at familycredit.org. And then again, if you've got any other questions, feel free to call back in next week and we'll look forward to seeing you then. Take care.